Imagine this, just 100 years ago, most people worked on their feet. Seriously, think about it. Farmers plowing fields, blacksmiths hammering horseshoes, factory workers on their feet all day, soldiers marching with 80 pounds of gear. If you were working, odds are you were moving. But fast forward to today, and we've done a full 180. Most of us are parked in a chair from morning till night. You wake up, sit in your car to commute. Sit at a desk from 9 to 5. Sit for dinner. Sit on the couch for Netflix. And if you're in tech, advertising, customer service, or streaming from home, you're likely sitting even longer. Even in modern warfare, some soldiers operate drones and launch missiles while sitting behind screens. No more storming beaches with bayonets. It kinda sounds like we've won, right? We made it. We no longer have to break our backs just to survive. But here's the catch, our bodies weren't designed for this kind of lifestyle. And now, doctors are sounding the alarm louder than ever. Because while sitting might feel like rest, too much of it is turning into a silent killer. Let's break it down. The health risks of sitting too much. First off, let's talk about the obvious one, hemorrhoids. No one wants to talk about it, but a surprising number of Americans silently suffer through this extremely uncomfortable condition, and sitting for long periods is one of the biggest contributors. I've got a buddy who drives long-haul trucks. He either sits behind the wheel or parks himself at the bar after a route. Guess what he had surgery for last year? Exactly. But that's just the beginning. 1. Risk of type 2 diabetes. When you sit for long stretches, your body becomes less efficient at burning sugar. That's because your muscles aren't contracting, so they're not helping absorb glucose. Your insulin sensitivity drops, which increases your risk of type 2 diabetes. In fact, one study found that people who sit for more than 8 hours a day without physical activity have a 90% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. 2. Blood clots and DVT. If you've ever been told to get up and stretch on a long flight, this is why. Sitting for hours on end can lead to deep vein thrombosis, DVT, a blood clot that forms in your legs. And if that clot breaks loose and travels to your lungs, it can be deadly. It's not just something that happens on airplanes, it happens in office chairs too. 3. Heart disease, the ultimate red flag. Research from the American Heart Association has shown that sitting for long periods can increase your risk of cardiovascular disease. One study tracked over 17,000 Canadians for 12 years and found that those who sat the most had a 54% higher risk of dying from heart disease. Another US-based study found that men who watched TV for more than 23 hours a week had a 64% greater risk of dying from heart disease than those who watched for 11 hours or less. And this was even after accounting for exercise and diet. That's the kicker. Even if you go to the gym daily, sitting all day still puts you at risk for back, neck, and spine problems. Let's be honest, how many of us sit with perfect posture? Exactly. Most of us slouch, hunch over our laptops, or bend our necks down at our phones. Over time, this compresses your spine, tightens your hip flexors, and strains your lower back. Chronic back pain is now the third most common reason for doctor visits in the US. If you've ever spent $600 on a fancy ergonomic chair, this is probably why. But even the best chair in the world won't fix the fact that our bodies weren't made to be stationary for this long. 5. Mental health takes a hit. It's not just your body, your brain suffers too. When you move, your body releases endorphins and dopamine, those happy chemicals that help reduce stress and anxiety. Sitting for long periods, on the other hand, has been linked to higher rates of depression and anxiety. And it's not just correlation, it's causation. Less movement, less light, less interaction equals more mental fog and emotional slump. 6. Poor circulation and varicose veins. If you're sitting all day, blood tends to pool in your legs, especially if you're crossing them or not moving around. This can cause your veins to swell, twist, and pop out. Over time, this can lead to serious circulation issues. It's not just an aesthetic problem, it can hurt, itch, and lead to complications down the line. 7. Early death, no joke. A meta-analysis of over 1 million people found that prolonged sitting was associated with a 22% greater risk of all-cause mortality. In plain English? The more you sit, the earlier you might die even if you exercise. That's why researchers started calling sitting the new smoking. Because like smoking, its effects are cumulative, silent, and deadly. So what's the solution? Quitting your job isn't realistic. Neither is standing all day like a Buckingham Palace guard. But what you can do is incorporate movement into your routine and invest in tools that support better habits. Enter the adjustable standing desk. Why standing desks are game changers. Let's talk benefits. Burn more calories. Standing burns 88 calories per hour versus 80 when sitting. Doesn't sound like much? Multiply that by 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year, you're looking at nearly 8,000 extra calories burned annually. That's over 2 pounds of fat just by standing. Lower blood sugar. In a 2016 study published in the Journal of Physical Activity and Health, alternating sitting and standing every 30 minutes reduced blood sugar spikes by over 11%. Less crash, more energy. Heart health. Remember those bus conductors in the 1950s? The ones who stood all day had half the rate of heart disease as their seated colleagues. It still holds true. Less back pain. One CDC-backed study found that using standing desks reduced upper back and neck pain by 54% after just 1 month. Better mood and energy. People who use standing desks report feeling more focused, alert, and productive. Some even say it helps with creativity. Movement keeps your brain firing. But wait, don't stand all day either. The key isn't to stand all the time. It's to mix it up. Experts recommend the 30-30 rule: sit for 30 minutes, stand for 30 minutes, repeat. The goal is dynamic movement, not rigidity. The real win is being aware of how long you've been in one position and giving your body the chance to adjust. We live in a world where working in comfort is a privilege, but that comfort can come at a cost. Our chairs might feel cozy now, but over time they're quietly hurting our bodies, hearts, and minds. Luckily, we have solutions. A standing desk won't change your life overnight, but it's a solid step toward a healthier one. Pair it with walks, stretching, and mindful breaks, and you're building a lifestyle that supports your body long term. So if you're sitting down while watching this, maybe it's time to stand up.